Our topic is all about package pricing. Depending on the type of catering, the caterer may need to provide clients with package pricing. Package prices can combine reception, dinner, beverage, flowers, entertainment, and team costs as one per person price. The pricing structure of the menu is often controlled by the overall package price. Any number of services can be included in the per person price. The cost of flowers and entertainment are broken down on a per person basis and added to the total package price. This marketing approach often creates a perceived value for the customer and the assumption that the overall function price is less expensive than if each item were charged for at a flat fee. To create package price, it is necessary to identify the per person cost for each service in order to identify all of the potential costs as well as revenue possibilities. For example, a basic wedding service package plan might include reception flowers, the photographer, a group of wedding singers, and a limousine service in addition to the food and beverage. Optional service costs are calculated. In this example, for a reception for 200 guests, the service package can be priced as follows. Number 1. The follow include two centerpieces for the bridal table, which is cost 6,000 pesos for a total of 15,000 pesos. The photography package is included in the reception package. Price is 22,000 pesos. A wedding cake was selected at 20,000 pesos. A group of wedding singers for a 4-hour reception might be priced at 15,000 pesos. Limousine service for the bride from her home might be priced at 8,000 pesos. The per person cost for optional services is number 1. Flowers, 15,000 pesos. Photographer, 22,000 pesos. Wedding cake, 20,000 pesos. Wedding singers, 15,000 pesos. Limousine service, 8,000 pesos. And the total of 90,000 pesos. Total per person, 450 pesos. Wedding reception plus staff, 1,000 pesos. And a total per person package price is 1,450 pesos. The participating services have lowered their prices in order to guarantee the volume of business created by referrals from the catering service. The catering service adds a percentage of the cost to cover their efforts in securing the optional services. Assuming the real cost of all package only amounts to 70,000 pesos, extra revenues generated from this packaging amounted to 20,000 pesos. Strategies for successful pricing. Whatever pricing method you choose, there are a number of important considerations to keep in mind when considering the right markup factor and final price to offer. Higher markups for smaller parties. For example, a markup factor of 2 for a chicken dinner that costs 75 pesos each for 20 guests will produce a margin of only 1,500 pesos. 75 times 20 times 2 equals 3,000 pesos less 1,500 costs. Is this sufficient profit? It is certainly not for a full-service caterer who is cooking at the party site. In this instance, a larger markup factor would be appropriate. Higher markups for lower food cost parties. In the preceding example, the food cost for chicken is low compared with the food cost of a lobster dinner, which may be 250 pesos. A markup of 2 on the chicken produces a 75 pesos margin, whereas a markup of 2 on the lobster produces a 250 pesos margin. This approach only works, however, when the menu is not labor intensive. Markups based on the number of expected guests. With more guests, smaller markup factors may be sufficient. The 75 pesos food margin on the chicken dinner for a group of 1,000 will produce a food margin of 75,000 pesos. Many caterers charge less per person for larger events. Some take a sliding scale approach without describing it thusly to clients, with regular prices for small groups, slight discounts for larger ones, and deeper discount for very large groups. Markups based on the particular date, special holidays, and other major events such as Eve, New Year's Eve, or the last Saturday before Christmas are generally busy days for caterers with a large demand for catering services. Astute caterers realize that they can charge more on these days than during slow periods. Moreover, because these days and nights are generally busy with pricing, caterers should remember that there may be additional unexpected expenses, such as renting extra vehicles and paying holiday pay to staff on New Year's Eve.
Markup based on the probability of need to negotiate or discount. In some instances, it is better to price a party higher, realizing you will later need to reduce the price or offer other concessions to satisfy a particular client. As we have mentioned, it is not advisable to reduce the price without deleting something from the party or receiving a concession from the client. For example, 100 pesos per person price reduction will result in the elimination of some food. Some caterers offer discount for parties held during slow seasons or for those held uncertain times of the other offer discount for client who sign contract month or years in advance or who agree to engage them as the preferred vendor for all their parties. Pricing for future business. Generally, inexpensive parties breed more inexpensive parties. When pricing events, every caterer must learn not to give a low price to clients who say that there will be a many people at their event who will buy in the future. There may be, but these folks will inevitably expect that same bargain prices. Beware. Pricing based on the value of time. Most of premises caterers reach a point in their careers when they ask themselves, what is my time worth? It isn't a rhetorical question. Situations crop up that will prompt you to make this kind of decision. Do I sacrifice a long awaited day off to earn the major profit? For a regular client, the answer may be yes. In other situations, perhaps by quoting a higher price, you can earn a sufficient profit to make this sacrifice worthwhile. Pricing when cost isn't a factor. There are clients who took beyond the price to such factors as top quality and food presentation and service. They are excited about a caterers who really works to come up with dazzling party, themes, and unique food displays. Some clients take pride in seeing Boo and Sue is my caterer. Some rare, as they may be even enjoy telling others how much they paid for an upscale party. We're certainly not suggesting you go such customers, however, in the cases your proposal can be more lavish and the client might even expect as much. Other pricing considerations. While costs are main consideration when setting prices, remember that they are not the sole determining factors. Every catering event is a negotiation and a relationship. In order to make the most of your pricing potential, you first have to find out exactly what's important to your client before setting prices. You should take other factors into consideration. Determine your pitch. In order in order to come up with a realistic and profitable rate, you need to consider the rates for your area, the type of party being catered, whether you hope to get repeat business from the client, and the buoyancy of your current business. Analyze the competition. Understandably, it's not as simple as adapting the competitors' prices. However, you get in and the idea of the cost range within which you can work. You can gather this information incognito by calling competitors and asking them to send you some sample menus. Many cutters also have websites, so you may be able this information online as well. Use your income statement or profit and loss. It's a good idea to calculate an income statement for each party or function as if it was a one-time event. This way you have a profit margin that guarantees financial success for every event. Certain event may warrant an additional charge. Hosting a tent party of an event on an island requires more labor and logistic than a simple indoor banquet will as well event accordingly. So place seating and prices. Never sit a single seating more than the client has agreed to pay for. Remember that your service staff assignment and your kitchen are all tied and to the set count. Just because you 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 feel as extra tables doesn't mean the kitchen will have meals prepared, or for the matter that you have staff to service them. It will how it will however give the client the expression all clients have a vested interest in keeping the guarantee count as close to the actual count as possible. Finalizing the deal. Once prices have been agreed, ask your client to check and finalize the details of the event also at the point. Ask the client to sign off the number of people to be served and the specific quantities of food and beverage you agreed upon. This is your contract. Guarantee. Base the guarantee on the number of guests that the client has agreed to pay for regarding of how many people actually eat. The contract generally covers a certain caution beyond the guarantee, often 5%, which the caterer agrees to sit the prepare for in the event that a new extra show up. Some categories specify that any amendments to the guarantee within 24 hours automatically changes the guarantee count to the set count, and the client will be billed accordingly. So we have lastly gratuities. Some categories and gratuities from service into the invoice, while other don't. In general, guarantees usually are 15 to 25% of the total food and beverage cost. Frequently, the caterer will be asked to reduce them, and good philosophy is not to reduce a price without reducing something else the event. The caterer can work with a client who wants a reduction, but to accomplish this there are maybe needs to discuss this limiting the buffet to two entry choices rather than three, or perhaps switching out the seafood extra for less expensive items such as chicken. Pricing, pricing is the backbone of the catering operation. The caterer must not outprice in the market but also must not be the bargain basement of caterers. Catering is perceived as a light service, and bargain hunting is not a selling feature.